Hi guys, I'm going to re-record a video I made on SCT, or sluggish cognitive tempo, and what it really means. So I'm going to go through some of the points again, and the conclusion I want to get to is that potentially SCT is just an exposition of having heightened verbal intelligence over non-verbal, and not taking the kind of suitable action to execute on that. So yeah, that is the broad point I want to be making. So getting into this a little bit. So what is SCT? It is the way it has been kind of systematized by Dr. Russell Barkley is a set of problems similar to ADHD that persist kind of from childhood to adulthood, but is quite distinct from ADHD. It's similar to ADHD inattentive type, but with a different kind of mix of executive dysfunctions. So SCT has more of a profile of problems with self-management, problems with problem solving, and some of the other executive issues that coexist with ADHD are actually not present. So this is surprising, and it could have multiple environmental or non-environmental genetic these type of causes that make it happen. So what is exactly taking place? I think one of the key bits to this puzzle, and there are a few which I'm going to go through, and one of the key bits really was that SCT is related to, or it has a common theme of, problematic childhoods. It has a theme of parental breakups, certainly, unemployment, really these kind of chaotic situations of growing up. Additionally, it has a common theme of just anxiety in general, and kind of introverted or reclusive type of behaviors. And this is both while growing up as well as during adulthood. So this seems something that might be related to environmental, but not entirely. And this is exactly what I think is happening. It's a set of kind of genetic markers or genetic conditions together with a bad childhood, and as a result tends to be leads to this kind of personality traits. And what I mean by genetic problems, so the genetic problem here really is that these people have kind of a information processing problems. They struggle to deal with sensory input, just colliding that all into thoughts, being able to understand, being able to avoid kind of confusion in an environment where there's multiple inputs. And together with that, there is the second key thing, and this is something that no one, to my knowledge, has brought up, which is verbal intelligence. So these people, I'll make a claim, are just kind of verbally more intelligent than non-verbally. And this kind of imbalance is really what leads to the problems kind of developing, or why these people stay in a kind of daydreamy, mind-wandering type of mental state, why they're not fully committing to work, and why also stimulants don't help a lot. They help a little bit, but some of the core problems still stay. So this is kind of long-winded way, but I mean what really is taking place is that these people they have these symptoms, and this also fits into a kind of bigger picture. What I mean by that is that there is research linking dyspraxia, which is a kind of physical clumsiness, and that links it with heightened verbal intelligence as opposed to non-verbal intelligence. And this would all make sense. It's kind of some kind of mild form or some kind of combination of some of the genetic markers possibly related to dyspraxia. So there might be a kind of bigger picture there where, people might have some degree of dyspraxia, or some degree of also heightened worrying, which is a second kind of behavioral thing related to higher verbal IQ. So in essence, we have kind of a bigger picture of where we have these kind of blobs of worrying as well as dyspraxia as well as SCT, and the kind of the common theme or thing linking them is the clumsiness, trouble with sports, as well as verbal heightened abilities compared to non-verbal. And when that is combined with trouble growing up, this kind of homelessness, divorce, parental alcohol consumption, which Russell Barkley alleged to, then this is not a surprise that it tends to happen, and it's not a surprise that it's linked to depression and anxiety. SCT heavily linked compared to classic ADHD, for instance. And these people being verbally intelligent is also why there's no physical aggressiveness, no ODD, no conduct disorder, because people with higher verbal intelligence as opposed to non-verbal don't tend to behave that way. So there's that. What I think explains the logic behind SCT and what it really is. So in short, it's a combination of some of the genetic markers, which means higher verbal intelligence compared to non-verbal, as well as clumsiness, as well as problems with information processing. But then on top of this, there is the environmental factor, which is a troubled childhood, where a person is not sufficiently exposed to the ways they could use their verbal intelligence for positive ends. So there you go. I think that kind of explains what SCT actually is, and also how to deal with that, because dealing with this is a whole separate set of issues. But I think once there is a degree of understanding that verbal intelligence is a strong suit, then people with SCT can start leveraging and start building a skill set, and producing stuff that is consistent with this, such as writing stuff, speaking as well as potentially managerial positions, and so on and on. They start to use their potential for really doing positive things, and overcoming the anxious or the kind of mind-wandering type of issues that they otherwise can get engaged in. So that's kind of some of my thoughts on this topic, and please do comment. I'd be really curious to read some of the comments and criticisms, as well as try to follow up on this and see is there some other way to think about this, and what other possible reasons might be behind this. So thanks for listening a lot, and see you in the next video. Cheers.